You are about to experience the year that AI changes you, your life, your job, your family, your potential. What we know from all this is it's a time of creativity, it's a time for action. It's the time you need to take the leap, take some risks, push yourself.
And I'm going to bring you back on stage. Please put your hands together. A warm round of applause for Jeremy Gutsche.
All right, let's talk about the Inflection point. Let's dive in. Here we go. How do you innovate in an era of AI? You are about to experience the year that AI changes you, your life, your job, your family, your potential. And I'm going to help you think about that with AI generated videos, mind control for killer widow, quantum computing, and sad robots that I generated in AI myself. And maybe even fireballs. But all of it will be an example to get you to the new future you're capable of. You're closer to no opportunity than you think. AI could be the trick that gets you there. So I'm going to talk about what now, what's next, and how it went. For why now we're down to the inflection point. For what's next, I think it is this way to the AI what things your life. And for how when, and I'll walk you through 7 tactics that we've learned for helping many clients that in many industries in that challenge to see how much AI you could already be adapted. So let's dive in. I'm not a guy that's usually working on innovation and change. At 850 keynotes in on innovation workshops or change. And so usually I'm not the one coming in to talk about AI. But that's changed because this past life I've had of working in AI technically suddenly got a lot different as a company when we started realizing how much more accessible AI is, as we talked about this morning. So this is a trend in a nutshell. We use even in AI to do fast custom research, to do innovation workshops, and to build tools online. According you're going to see it's at 12,364 custom trend reports with the power of for trained AI able, and she will tell you that the number 1 topic this year, all the trend research, all the number 2 most important trend this year is AI. The number 3, AI, the inflection point, as we talked about. I think the key way I would put it in that most people don't realize about transformative AI would be in brow past this will happen. And those 2 first points are cliche, because everyone here could have said that. But the part I hope to impress you with is a little bit more on how much you could already automate, enhance, or accelerate your work. And I think that's where the disconnect is. So I gave you a little of the background on our OT, deciding that we would do half a day week of AI for a lot, ended up being for a year or so. But I want to say how we started that off was we made a all-tier capsule of the people interested in AI representing each style of our business. For us, that was 20 people, but when we've done for major brands or organizations, it's often 40 or 50 people that you can select who are most interested in AI, but not just technically, representing each area of the business. That council gets together once a month, keeps the ball rolling. When I say going half a week for AI, you probably think, well, that's what they did, but my company can't. And yet we work with many teams of Fortune 500 companies that are currently 1 hour, 2 hour, or even half day week of AI. That's how committed people are starting to get once they get their, their hand wet. So what through that, like how to convince yourself or your team is to think about it as a short commitment. You all believe AI is going to happen. That's why you're here at the event. Your company would probably be willing to send you or part of the team, or you'd be willing to send your team to a 4-day conference. So the concept that we use to convince a lot of our clients to double down is to say, you're just committing 4 days of time as we would to a conference. But because you want people to play with the tools, implement, and work on stuff, you're just spreading that out over 8 weeks. That's how the first 4 days how the conference might go, but in this case, that's your equipment, and that's your commitment for 8 weeks. We then did weekly tactical sessions, lots of show and tells, and we got people to track what they were working on in a very simple way. We spent 12,000 FTE hours on this. In total, that led to about 200 tools being either deeply implemented or once we started working what it is we like, starting to code them up and let them into our own coding, if some of those are very important, or subscribing to whatever tool it is that we really like. That one was from the sales team, the radio operations team, editorial team, the event team, culture team, HR team, recruiting, marketing team, client team. And I pointed it not just to show you a whole bunch of lists, but to tell you that by letting people explore and figure out their solution, you will get to your results. Our team's also much more motivated than ever before. They're slaying, they're hungry, and we've had some pretty big wins. I'll walk you through what some of those are. One of the big win was taking all of the different things we've automated in all parts of our business and actually building our own thread effort GPT, which will give you a bit of an example of later on. But high level, where you could ask our friend out of GPT a question, like show me all of the trends in the beverage industry that are relevant to the millennial audience living in Dubai or in the Middle East, or put anything you want. And what's wild is it takes all the data, it automatically creates trend reports, it automatically creates predictive product ideas, and we never would have even thought of creating something like that. Now, I want to get to that at the end, but what I'm going to do right now is maybe a little bit more interactive to help us really understand this inflection point. So what do you want to learn about? How are we going to do this live? Do I talk about fireballs, or I'm going to translate for I got like my bullets. What do you want to talk about? Here, killer battle from that. I just keep moving the other part of the production. I really thought it was going to be fireball. What do you guys want to learn about? Yeah, exactly. If you love it, I got to light up fire. A million years ago, already humans discovered fire, and when they did, suddenly you could cook your food, keep warm, and light the jar. You could also fight predators. You could defeat the enemies and forge weapons. Interestingly, fire brought us that they were both good and bad, but most certainly, fire was a risk, opportunity, and an inflection point. Fire changed us. There's no going back. Now, meanwhile, 10,000 years ago, humans in 6 cradles of civilization around the world planted the first seeds, and when they did, we became farmers. We could stay put, survive winter, gather in larger groups. We could luck with farming, but it also brought hierarchy, rivalry, and a need for war. Fast forward, well, seems like it was a resident farming supposed destined at an inflection point. Then 350 years of electricity teaches us to stay certain thing. Something can shape us as good as that. Power, life, conflict, disparity, global warming. It was a risk and opportunity. Electricity was the inflection point. Now, let's use that to tee up Simon Chivlay's quote, AI more profound with fire or electricity. If I put that quote up on its own, people will come up and say, oh yeah, but also it's like the internet, where it's like social media. No, it's not like the internet, and it's not like social media at all. Otherwise, Sundar Pichai, all people would say AI is more about with fire, electricity, internet, and social media. He's not saying that. He's the one person in the world that should be certain social media not. So when we talk about AI, I think we need to realize just how much this was an opportunity would be to change us in the inflection point of this current 3-5 year period. It get up what quote 42% of AI, CEOs believe AI have the potential to destroy humanity in 5 to 10 years. So there's that. But on the other hand, it could bring peace, solve hunger, save the planet, cure cancer. We think that you're actually working on specifically what. In Elon Musk's world, it is either the best or worst thing to happen to us. So you can be curious or great, exciting, intimidated, ready or unready. I think the fact you're here is because you choose to be among the folks that are ready. And with that said, I want to further explore and dive with another multiple choice pick that you can make. What do you want to learn about math teachers or freedom fighters? What do you think over here? I can't hear you. I'm interrupting. I'm going to keep or then take calls. This is a trick question because they're one of the things. And so I've been telling you a story. Back in 1986, I was 8. And if you wanted to solve a math problem, there was no Excel, there's no Google, there's no ChatGPT, there's no calculators. It was no fun at all. Instead, you had to count with your fingers like an American or Canadian, so that show works. You had to tally, compute, would think about it. It was long, but it was primal, and it was pure. And then the world changed. The kids started coming to class with a Casio solar-powered scientific calculator made in Japan, so you know it's good. Complete with leather period case. Oh yeah, it was an unfair advantage. Math teachers took to the street, calculating calculators for a minute in class, but and it just to last for years. America striving for stupid. It would stop it. Okay, Canadian joke here again. No, he can't. Sorry. That wasn't applied to the United States at all. Here I got some, how reluctant one I have on it. So the thing about it is, not people take to the streets for AI. Sure, there's reasons to be worried. We're going to teach some of that up as well. We're not going to ignore it. But I think that the favorite way I've seen describing this, to think about it, was the author of Sapiens, who said, if you actually break it down, right now we're afraid. Because it's the first time in history that I have no idea what the world will look like in the next 10 years. And he broke it down a bit further to say, well, the thing is, there will always surprise, conflict, war, plague, pandemic, whatever it might be. But actually, for all of history, you knew the traits you could teach your daughters and sons. You knew that 3 or 4 days you would teach them that could be their livelihood. And now, well, I don't know what I could imagine my 1 or 2-year-old doing. Now it's quite different. But the thing about it that you plunge into your journey is there's 2 versions of you, regular you or AI and hardly. And when we sell the idea of doubling down on your skills, first let's acknowledge this firm is both AI early adapters, but that you sell this concept to your team, to the people that are new, the reluctant earlier, the people that are not the early adopters like you. This is a powerful way to think about it. A couple of years from now, when people are losing jobs, which side of the fence do you want to be on? The one that knows how to use this technology or not? They are more profound than fire electricity, and it's truly going to change it. So I want to dive in to a little bit of the history to help us understand exactly where we're at now. So when we think about AI, the way was actually turned in 1956 at a Dartmouth Congress where they had pretty ambitious list of things and they were going to start happening. Take a look at some of the things that solving word problems, jumps, or speaking English, you to detach it. Okay, so really, now it's no surprise this is funded all around the world by different defense departments. And one day, the proof point of trying to get the AI to crack codes and translate really wasn't coming to fruition. See, that nodded, and that led to a famous debate, and all of the funding pretty much worldwide for AI was ended. AI would turn became. There's a little G robot ad, and that means I threw this in right away. But then AI was back, and there was new funding, and then it was gone again, and there was tepid AI venture. But then new funding get the corporate challenges, IBM's first attempt to Blue, taking out Kasparov with a wit, leading to Watson. And all of these attempts were based on large machine learning. And you show a whole bunch of things, it starts to crack code. And that helps you create a system that might be good at something that has a limited number of outcomes. So it would actually be pretty good at something like chess, that strategy. But it was terrible at Go. A game of 50 million players worldwide, and people have played for now with the years. Can you want to really explain how many more outcomes there are in Go compared to chess? It's 10 to the power 641. Billions and billions of times more options of how a game could play out. And that then machine learning with the computing power available then was absolutely never going to work. So deep learning came onto the scene, brought to find Jeffrey Hinton, Godfather. We had the Godmother, the Christopher, the Godfather, the Little Married, brought deep learning into play. Basically, they knew, wow, what would the teach computers to teach themselves? Now, the pivotal moment, which some of you might have heard of, a couple of you might have watched the Netflix documentary, but I'll give you a different backstory. AlphaGo was a Google project where they said, maybe with deep learning, we can figure out how to win at Go as well. So they had a tournament, they ended up meeting the human champion by 4-1, and then they trained a new system, AlphaGo 2, and it beat AlphaGo 1 by 100-0. So the deep learning revolution started. What? Here was the curveball that most of us didn't pay attention to. First of all, comically, the world champion quit forever, so upset that he lost for the first time, and he said, I can't be number 1. I wanted to play this again. Some sad after she delivered to your child. It's like, no, it's only about winning. Aggress. Okay. And the national news throughout Asia was pretty much saddened by this event. But what was unique that most of the world didn't really clue into is that for the Chinese government, this was their Sputnik moment. And upon seeing the results of Go, within a month, within 2 months, within 2 months, $1 billion of funding, and the new AI blueprint was the goal to make China a world leader in AI by 2020 and the world top by 2030. The deep learning revolution was well on its way. Now, I gave you this story verbally, but to put a little visual on, if by 2018 there were all these different fields of AI research, the unique breakthrough from a Google paper was realizing actually language plays a more pivotal role in the game of oversimplifying a little bit, but almost everything could be described better in language. By 2023, a lot of these things started coming about, and this is where a lot of the people in this room first started getting interest. Not all of you, but for many of you, 2023 was the big year. So I'll do a little bit of quiz question. First of all, put in your hand 2023 became the year you became most interested in AI. Who would say 2023 is the year? Okay. So in 2023, when you started watching it, which group learned about AI and practiced it, figured it out much better than everyone else? U.S. military, China, NASA or boom. Now, I want you to think of your answer, and this is our first competition. We're going to try and defeat your peers in the room. So first of all, does anyone like winning in this room? Okay, so you all want to win. So here's how this goes, mind your quiz. I want you to shout the answer all at the same time. There's no hand phoning, you shout it aloud at the same time. If you don't say an answer, you automatically lose and didn't know, and everyone beside you will realize that. So, take a look at the list, internalize what you think one, you're going to say what you think it is, or lose, in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Trick, you're all wrong. It was your shoulder.
That was a really great essay from Clyde on the 1840s labor union and their effect on the Industrial Revolution. Someone who never writes good essay, Butters, wrote an amazing piece on post-Cold War Poland and the changing provision of security. Feminist neoliberal perspective of post-war Afghanistan. By here, this week we have a new student to the Czech Plus Club for an amazing essay called Writing a Policy About Improving the Rights of Migrant Workers. Let's hear the first thing.
And in that episode, it continues on, and he eventually, the t-shirt beside his partner, and he goes, I don't get it. Ireland's essay is so long and so stupid. And then his partner says, did you know there's this new thing, ChatGPT, and you could use it to grade all of the exams. Full circle. So what do we know so far? High school got pretty easy. But you've all had experiences with ChatGPT. That was probably for many of you the first awakening of how something simple little tools, like simple little tasks that are could soon become profound. I remember one of my first people I introduced it to was a good friend, was a grade 9 school teacher. So I'm not sure how the grading systems work here, but that means teaching 15-year-olds. And she said, yeah, but I would always know if my students are using AI. I said, okay, what's the latest exam that they're doing? What essay? And she said, write a 1,000-word essay comparing and contrasting the characters of these two books. Now, the first thing I personally to look at that would shock me to remember what high school was like is that in order to pull this off, you have to read 2 books. So immediately, I don't like this environment. So I put it into ChatGPT. There's the answer. Joke, too good. I can tell that it's fake. Cool. Write the same article at a grade 10 reading level, rapidly making 0 run comment grammar mistakes per paragraph. Now, if it starts getting upset, turn it into a rap according to first principle there. Now she's more upset. And there's the rap. A couple other essay questions. Explain the differences between moral and ethics in simple terms. What are the most complex mathematical concepts? Don't like it. Too many words. Can you just turn it into something you can slang in 50 words? There you go. Now, you've all played around with ChatGPT. And I think the thing we did internalize, the real change, is that you now don't really need to be a developer to innovate it with it. It's more of a focus more on innovation, but you've all been in a brainstorming workshop, and here's how they go. You use the method, whatever it is, you come up with 50 ideas, you filter down, and only 2 or 3 things can be done. And they take a long time to be done, it might take a year, who knows. That's how it goes. The difference that's happening now is you put people into their functional teams, and you say, no laptops for day 1. What's the functional thing that you want to try and fix in your job? It's repetitive. What part of your job do you just let? Come up with a list. What would you want to automate if you had a super helpful system? And you'll come up with a list, and then you go on the internet, you look for the tool that someone made the tool. Answer the question that's currently the largest question on everyone's mind. It all researches, and so far the recently came out. What are the things that you're worried about? What are the stumbling blocks? And the number one barrier is, well, I don't know where to start with a big problem. Look for a solution to that. But most certainly, we're at this inflection point, and you want to try and understand. So I showed you this slide right here. We're moving from conceptual to realistic, but let's try to show you what that looks like. We started, if you remember, by simply looking at Tom Cruise, which is pretty wild, off an inflection point. Then I went through the waste example. Let's expand it. Let's go into some different categories. So this is Laura McCabe. She won the influencer, about 6 million followers, and got a job working for YouTube at Coachella as the host and video. But let's do the Turing test right now. Is she real or fake? It's fake. But if we go back to that example, Tom Cruise and jumping jacks, what's happened now is that anybody can put in a sentence of a prompt and you can make a person that looks completely real. So there's a new industry out there where there's thousands of profiles, all designed with a business model to take your money in one way or another. They're about 99% female, about 99% of them will offend you in some way, one way or another, 1% are male. A minimum have 250,000 or more followers, and you've been subscribed to it. So you could buy a little coffee, instead of a tip. You can become, their patron. People are going even further and having virtual girlfriends or falling in love with these characters. There's an influencer who was a real person named Carrie, and you could subscribe to her as your buddy, and it's trained up all the words that she knows, and you can subscribe. She becomes your friend. Artificial intelligence. Here's an example of some of the people making these fake people.
Artificial intelligence replaced the role of visual effects artists it already has. I'm not real.
Crude Skelton is a fake character I made using multiple AI-powered programs, and here's how I did it. His face was created using the first road I played around with different prompts until I created a perfect look. I didn't want to make it look hot because I wanted people to fall over his jokes and visual effects. So it urged me to do it, but I had to make it well and very funny listening out. I rendered out hundreds of these photos and fed them into an AI-powered program called Convert Skeleton and generate a full 3D model based off these pictures, which already had the idea for his name. On the surprise note, combat. Now all I had to do was record my video, send that to Deepfakes.com, which uses AI to motion capture my movements, and then apply that animation to the cursor model. For the facial expressions, I used Deepfakes Lab. Again, picking up images from the dolly renders. His voice is the only part that is AI, since the program that I want for speech costs so much.
I just deepened my voice like 50 per ton of effects and modulation to make it sound like Chris Skelton.
So be sure to follow my actual account down below and comment what you guys think. Should I keep posting this account as Kurt's or his scale it over now?
Keep going. So this introduces the concept of Persuading, which is a massive AI that knows everything about psychological tactics and human beings, but is specifically trained on you. As it takes what it knows, looks at all your online profiles, and it knows everything you've done, everywhere you've been, everything you've read, every tactical you've watched, the conversations, your friends, your followers, and it's designed with all its experiments, millions of experiments, to sell or persuade you to do something. Which brings us to the concept, then we have new risks. We have fraud, manipulation, scams. I'll give you a couple of examples. So I, as the CEO, get impersonated pretty much every day. Usually the text reach out to the colleague, there'll be a young person say, I'm conducting a seminar workshop. I need a whole bunch of affidavit cards really quickly. It's important. It's the first week on the job, people that are. But what's happened now is it hasn't gone any further. And there's an example, it was out of Hong Kong, it's an international company, and a person in procurement, senior head of procurement, is on the phone in a Zoom call with the CEO, the CFO, and another, watching them talk about what needs to be done and paid for. Make a $20 million class. The person's watching their CEO and CFO tell them what to do in a video call. They made the translate. And that's. This probably happened much more than you think. There's many more examples of it, and many companies don't want to admit that they followed for something that one got listed. I think that you're about to see a Super Bowl of this with the U.S. election that's upcoming. And that's just scratching the surface. There's another example where a guy who's actually in the U.S., the attorney general, or the headquarters, his job is looking into scams. He was testified in Congress saying, I was almost victimized by a scam so sophisticated I, as attorney general, didn't understand. My phone rang. I picked up the phone. Dad, I'm in the county jail where I was pulled over and got a little accident, and they said I was in a DUI, but I wasn't. I was on different medication, and then could my retain the phone. I went up in it. That, and then being able to come down, yeah, sorry, on her son's 15, he told us a story that he's not really, he wasn't drunk, wasn't drinking, but there was a prescription he had. You need to look into that, hire a bail bonds thing. I'm not the, what we get one that'll call bail bonds that calls. He starts getting ready to transfer money for a bail, and then run, I never call myself. He calls that, hey now, how you doing? These are the things that are about to happen. It's pretty wild. And in India, I don't remember it's 20 million or 50 million automated custom messages in the voice of the politician when his reach outs in his last month with their image. So get ready for watching America. We'll all watch from the outside, see what happens in Trump versus Biden, right apart. Next, let's get into entertainment. Let's make it less gloomy. So here's some of what Ange stills, and that would be probably fan up is. What he hates more than anything is a fun meme that people have been doing is using text prompts to recreate other movies in the style of Wes Anderson. He hates this. Here's Spider-Man.
In a city of 8 million souls, one quietly yearns for more. Remember, Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. Meet Spider-Man, New York's eccentric web-slinging city.
Peter, do you ever feel like we're just tiny dots in this big, sprawling canvas called New York?
All the time, MJ. But then I look up at the skyscrapers and I feel part of something bigger.
A brand new adventure by Wes Anderson, starring a stellar ensemble cast.
Only in theaters June 16th. No, it's not. And I picked that example because that's last June 16th. So to illustrate the inflection point that it was a year ago when you could base simply with text prompts. And I can show you how to do it. It's pretty quick and it doesn't take much time at all. But different YouTuber, he is excited about all different brands but makes his own versions. So this is an example of the campaign that he made for Gucci fashion simply by putting in text prompts with favorite models, actors, actresses that he wanted showing off different styles of his own products. But he made the entire campaign, posted, it's just one poster, and he's on to the next brand and his next work. Probably took a lot less than you think. For the NBA, they're using AI in a new approach to how you would become immersed in experiencing sport. Take a look at this example. That's the NBA commissioner, as well as one of the main broadcasters in the US.
You will be inserted into the game. You'll be making all the same movements he was, but it'll look like it's your vibe.
Does he have my skills?
We'll see. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and roll it. There's that shirt.
Oh, I did not go. It was an inflection point. Electricity, and most certainly AI, is an inflection point. So we've talked about why now, give you a sense of the history leading up to the inflection that we're at today. For what's next, this is a section that I'm actually going to breeze through a little bit differently because I think about the super future. I like to think about how it overlays not just with some of the text prompts or image prompts, but what happens when we layer in robotics, your interface, mind reading, file enhancement, 3D printing, sustainability, and all the other ways that things can get accelerated. I've got a little report here. You're welcome to AlphaGo now or wait for it after, but it's a 200-page report with maybe 300 examples or so covering all different industries. I think that one of the most persuasive ways getting their team on board is to try and find examples in your own industry of what's already happening with AI. And at this point now, at Trend Hunter, we've covered about 12,000 articles on different innovations in AI. And so as you narrow down for your own category, you can do that free on our website or, get some of the research. It's a cool way to sort of experience what's happening in your world. But because we've got so many industries in the room, I thought I would jump ahead with their topic, how to put 7 tactics to make AI innovation better, faster as a leader. So I could give you a case study, but I thought the best case studies could be a bit more human and simple about it and talk about what it was like in our own company when we forced them to go patented. I think that I'd say force people now, but at the time, the crew a lot of thought and consideration. How many people want to put this much time to? A lot of people aren't as tech savvy. So we need to be doing this. And as we started getting going and the show and tells happened, the people started playing around, that's when traction started changing everyone's motivation a lot. So I'll give you an example of what we've learned from 8 years technically in AI, but actually probably more relatably a year and a half as the company that's forced everybody. So the starting premise would be that I think you need to help people internalize that they're closer to their dreams and goals than they think, but there are certain things that block us. In the case of AI, what we've noticed, especially in our client work, is probably the number one issue is getting buy-in, and that can be not just buy-in from someone ready to check for a little project, but buy-in even from yourself and dedicate more time to learning about AI. The next is the fallacy that I am not a coder. So I'm going to look at this and maybe just think of how to lead it, but realizing that there's more that you could actually do already yourself could really change your perspective on how much you've been interested in AI. The uncertainty of where to start is a pretty big deal. I mentioned that was the number one block, where to start. The Ipsos research study we're looking at, but truthfully, I'd follow. There's just a million opportunities, so how do I narrow in? AI sound too big, important, got it, totally locked in, I believe you, but I don't even really know what I'd be for. Is that it? I don't know. So there's this field of chaos that gets created, and then guess what? There's 100 to 1,000 new tools every single week, while Tailoring was right for me. Next up, there's this version of scenario planning or upcoming scenario planning called the expected future. And it's related to the idea that, and we'll do this on day 2, end of it tomorrow. It's scenario planning. You come up with 4 scenarios in the world. A lot of it comes right here from the Middle East. So we're going to do a Middle East case study tomorrow on scenario planning. But in scenario planning, we acknowledge the fact that everyone in your organization has a belief of the expected future. That means regardless of what weird scenario you say, I already think I know how things are going to turn out. After the pandemic, everyone reorganized all their strategies, rethought about what they're doing, and firmly got solidified in a new version of the expected future. And now you're telling me to change it can't because of this AI thing? I don't think so. We need a couple of years to get this new post-pandemic strategy working. Next up, short-term thinking and last stranded focus. So go through a little bit of each. Getting fine. So our team, we thought the AI council was probably key, which is trying to think the person most passionate about learning AI in each of our different silos, each of our departments. They didn't need to be the person that knew how to code. They just needed to be the person really interested in learning, wanting to share. Because if we could supercharge them, we don't lose them to another company, and then they go back to their own respective teams, socialize, play, try to find tools that will be relevant for their peers. So let's dive in a little bit more on it. Fine matters for all of us in this group, and it's not just about convincing your CEO or the rest of your team. It matters for yourself, perhaps your customers, for all trying to convince someone. Now, personally, I'm very convinced that it's not clear, but that doesn't mean everyone else on my team is to be. So the approach that we took was, first of all, started on the idea that you just need to play with it. And I felt, and now I believe even more so, the more you know about AI, the more you play with it, the more you'll want. You start off, this is probably years ago, but you start off not really getting it, and eventually you start understanding. Then you want some of it for you or for group, then you want more AI, and eventually you want more from it. That's just oversimplified. That's kind of the learning curve. The more you play with it, the more you get addicted. So we thought about convincing people with 7 different primary motivators. First, let's go with fear. Well, the feeling we wanted people to pick up, truthfully, was a bit of disrupt or be disrupted. I'm telling you that I want you to change how you've done your job for years. That's kind of a big hack. And so I used to have in ChatGPT for this, but I came up with a list. What jobs will AI replace? And it's kind of meta because by doing that, I'm replacing myself. And also, I don't like that it put researcher in the exact middle, which is kind of a negative at me. But let's think about why it's important of my little niece, Alan. So the big movie that came out last year, probably radio and Barbie. But my little niece doesn't like Bart. And if you ask her, do you want a Barbie doll? Isn't her response. Eat princesses for breakfast. So this leads to a bit of context, so you'll understand a very difficult day. Her like,
Can you tell me why you're so sad? Show we're done, so we're still fine. Consider extinct article.
the problem is you need to explain that time source don't exist for creating 12 senior years to be really difficult. But every time you explain to a little girl time source don't exist, you limit her career imagination. And that's the weird thing happening for a parent or grandparent in this room. I don't know what my kid would possibly do. The sense of confusion. And that is my little guy, by the way. So I'll get older, they'll probably stay the same. But what does he like doing as Everest? I don't know, he likes meeting, he needs to be a staff or a food critic. He likes building. I thought with this picture, male model is super cute. But we learned when we take pictures, the best thing to do to make the picture good is you crop my face up, either half or fully. And that makes the picture look better. You can maybe do something like hide and go seek, but you'll see it's not really good. First good coverage with pre, then pretty soon just goes out, not doing it well. Oh, but it's switchport. He loves the switchport, so there's that. So, wait a minute, let's get him out on top of it. You'll see where this relates. There's me, researcher, right in the middle. And there's some of the other jobs we'll replace. Film projections, video store clerk. I think this list is bad touching T. And switchport operator. No, but that was the one job that wasn't going to be automated. So I think, truthfully, we're making a joke of it there, but we're in a really weird space. I don't think roles will fully be replaced just yet, but I do think 20-30% of homes, everyone's role in a traditional white-collar role would be replaced. And eventually, that makes it absurd of what will work in. Now, that writing is on the wall with a lot of people. So as we started thinking about how to roll out and persuade people, for leaders, what we said, and to leaders on our own team, we said, even if you're not fully convinced, the people who want to learn AI on your team are the folks hungry and ambitious, and you don't want to lose them. So actually, this is a retention strategy, or a recruiting strategy. And for the individuals on our team, we're always looking at something new. So we were shocked that there was still resistance and worried because people thought, well, maybe you're going to sort of just automate my own job. So we really wanted to explain, all we want to do is think about how to automate parts of the job you don't like, opening room for how to make enhance output or customer service and do the things you actually enjoy. Another way of thinking about the comfort is the AI won't steal jobs, but someone who's an AI expert with AI will. And that is how I started the day with this concept that there's two versions, empowered you and regular you. Which one do you want to be in a year? Next up, aspiration. I also use this trick on you. I kicked it off. I noted you're closer to an opportunity than you've ever been. Another good way to get buy-in. Next, there's math. What we did a little bit of the pace and change was wording. And actually, if you look at the math and see the writing on the wall, you think about that. Intervals of change. Well, that creates a sense of fear or urgency that especially works for my C-level leaders, decision makers, to realize even without AI, we were training to a world where we needed to adapt much faster. AI is just kind of the proof point that all this math and all this trend is going to actually happen. And then we get to ROI. We heard this actually in the Bubbling Carol. The most important tool is free, or effectively free. It's like $20 a month for best pieces of it. But compare that to any other time that your company tells a breakthrough in technology. People are put in the same debate as to whether we should invest in AI they did for their first website, their social media marketing, going to the cloud and big data, the Salesforce stack. I know in our company we pay, and Salesforce is a lovely client, but we pay roughly $10,000 a salesperson for all the different tools in our sales we use. That's a lot. And now you're saying ChatGPT is effectively free? Like that's kind of what? And you don't need to be a developer, and it's the future, and it's free? Like that's pretty well. Or last, I'll kind of note the power of story, which is to say, think of yourself and your teammate as being on a raft. And you know the raft is headed for the rapids. You absolutely know that. But the state that we're at right now is that we're at the top of the river getting in. I need everyone in our round to be better at knowing how to paddle, float, swim, all that wonderful stuff. And my assessment, if you're trying to convince someone to buy it, is that of all the things I said, the story of the raft, you might remember the best. It is simply the power story. Last, probably the most usable, and we mentioned this with the QR code, we'll give you reports after, but when you see specific examples in your industry or of your job, you will just realize it is time to get going. So let's demystify it. If you were to do a multi-day program with your team, the first entire day, you don't even use a laptop with them. Instead, start off by thinking about what business problems you need to solve by department. Put people in their different groups, and then ask them a starting question. Come up with a list and tell me what part of your job do you wish to automate? What part do you not like doing? I was doing a conference and it was for a CEO of a bank. It's been resourced at Capital One. The CEO of this business line said, you know what I did the other day? I watched the F-18 fighter that is an AI robot shoot down in air in a simulated dogfight, a real F-18. Then it happened again and again. And they explained that it's doing a million things every second. And then I thought, how many things do we do here at the bank? Probably 6 or 7. We don't do a million things. So that was my turning point. And the way he introduced this question to his team, and he said, John, do you get excited about coming to work and do your expense reports for last week? Do you like categorize them in 58 different ways? Like, Mary, do you really get excited about having to meet with 13 people before you make the report of what happened in last week's meeting? Is when take therapies for never again. No, that's not what I like doing. Well, figure what it is for your particular group, and then I look to audit it. And that leads you to do different thought process of imagine what you would do if you could have more time, 20 or 30% more time in your week. What would you do with it? And that's a starting workshop. It's not wild, but it's a 2-hour workshop. It's an hour on one question, an hour on the other. You can spend even longer on it. We walk into workshops sometimes where they say, hey, actually, we're really liking this and we're getting a lot. Can we just do this for the entire afternoon? Sure, I still love to do that. And you don't let the entire time. Now, the next part about trying to get the teams going is that you're kind of teaching computer class. And if you remember when you first learned typing in school, it's like some kids are looking at the keyboard, what's up, what's down, and others are sort of coders already. So I think you need to assess that everything at a different level. I'm going to walk you through how we think about each level. If someone you're teaching or working with is a level 0, the challenge is, here's the exact AI video I want you to watch. I found it most relevant for industry. Set up a ChatGPT account and start playing with these prompt questions. I give people the original prompt questions in whatever their industry or field because I want them to be dazzled by the result. By the end of the morning, you are a level 1. Another thought process per some of this shift learning, use it like Google. It's free. Just get started. Half day, level 1. Now we get to the good stuff. Here's where adding new knowledge to you of things you might not have fully thought. So when we think about ChatGPT, try using ChatGPT as your default new tab in your browser for an entire month. Don't ask Google questions. Just ask ChatGPT. Whatever it is, just start. And realize that you start asking the question different. Like, I'm trying to figure out something like, is the Starbucks on my block open on today's holiday? And like, Starbucks open, holiday, Bloor Street, weird. You talk weirdly when you talk to Google. You don't have to do that with ChatGPT. Next up, we're going to do a little bit of prompt engineering and talk about SAT requests. So, first of all, I'm going to see down my AI tools first. We eventually have it for chat. But the reason why is this so important, and it's just a weird little curveball, is people trying ChatGPT, they try it on their own industries. I'm an innovator. What are 10 tips for innovation? I look at it, this is boring. I know all of it. So let's do prompt engineering or fun, right? So this is overwhelming. Let's talk with communication. That's one of the top communication agencies in the world. On their Instagram, about the app. Machines don't have creativity yet. They can't answer something good or wrong. They don't even know what it's like to trout or taste a tomato. So if I ask, what does it taste to taste a tomato and not use the word tomato, it's kind of weird. It's sort of required. Honestly, it's not a good answer. It is Jeremy AI 001. Let's garbage up. So if we use the Harvard framework to see, you ask the question of context, instruction, detail, import. I've tried 100 of these different frameworks. This is my simplest favorite that I just think causes you to rethink if you could ask the question differently. So let's go back to tomato. As the Michelin star chef in Italian restaurant that prides itself on the purchase ingredient, you like his descriptive adjectives describing tomato for Bon Appetit magazine. Now to know this answer, and I won't read it all, set to our signature dish begins with exquisiteness that wine Rosella tomatoes, the crown jewel of the Italian kitchen, harvested at their absolute peak of ripeness. The flavor is intensely full-bodied, rich with a dynamic juxtaposition of air sweetness and bold acidity. It is a symphony of freshness, a kiss of the sun-warmed summer with each bite. Wow. Next up, so Larry, I gave absolute question where I'm a keynote speaker. I need to make a keynote. Maybe I want 3 stories, but I don't know which story. So I research. With ChatGPT, I could just ask for 50 stories that have been my criteria. Hey, I'm looking for nifty innovations and discoveries from the post-pandemic era, other past IT pandemic, the answer, blah, blah, blah. And then the important part, if you ask for a list of 50 things, is say clearly what it's structured. I want something just bullet points for my first question. So I'm telling you 2 sentences on the animation, 1 bullet on the way it was discovered, and another on how it changed our approach to creativity. And then boom, at then my answers, I can read through them very quickly and decide which one I want to select. See, for an example, stacking. I'm a hilarious keynote speaker, and Dan, one of the same, doing a keynote on how awesome ChatGPT is. I want to show them it, and here's how I want my output. I want to cover 5 industries, examples, we can see what I've asked. Then I get my answer. I didn't put more data industries. I didn't spell CPT correctly. I call it CPT. I get my answer, bullet points like I wanted. But then once I have one that I want to expand it on, I can say, oh, for the B2B services one, knowing my writing, here's an example of my writing. Make this a 1,000-word essay for my link, and I want it to make me look smart. Boom, there's my essay. Follow me for or great thought leadership. All right, well. Now we get to plugins, which now have been replaced by GPTs on OpenAI. The plugins are now GPTs. If you wish to make a cool itinerary for Dubai while you're here, you could Google, you go through and figure out. And if you go to the GPT store, free with your $20 membership, you can have the kayak where the travel companies, GPTs, and then you can say, hey, I'm in Dubai, I have 4 days, I want each day theme. I do business meetings in the morning, I have 2 sons, here's their pages, theme each day, can be restaurants that are rated 4 or 5 or higher, and I want a romantic restaurant with a dip. And it makes your output, it's wide. So for the idea of trying to figure out plugin, the other point I wanted to bring up is we're trying to get our team, our clients to work as hard as they can on what you could already do within just 1 tool, OpenAI, which sometimes just go by that. But the reason why these all-follow plugins play till you're an expert before you start spending our money with some of the other companies out there that are basically still referencing, let's say, in the back end, say ChatGPT engine. So there's a little engine. Here's what the store kind of looks like. Got it. There's one where I got it to watch a video. For a client, I said, hey, my CEO client has his life story in a 20-minute TEDx talk. Watch the story, watch the 20 minutes, give me a breakdown of all the key lessons, and then write me a children's book in Dr. Seuss style poetry that I could give to him. So it did that, and here's all the things what the supervisor said. He talked about listening, and his name's Tony. So he goes, listening here, listening there, Tony, listen everywhere. And it's his life story. Oh, pretty interesting conversation start. Let's get back to this, talk about a couple ways. You're going to see us go through a whole bunch of examples, but I'm going to give you one that is about chatbots. So we've had ups and downs playing with this. We once bought a chatbot a couple of years ago. I didn't look at it. It got approved. $35,000. It was terrible. We never implemented it. They said they used AI. They didn't really. But now, with OpenAI, people are all using ChatGPT, Engine, or a couple of the others. But let's review why chatbots are important or board. Albert, hi, how may I help you? Oh, cool, an online chatbot. I'll let this help. Hey, I'm going to come to your venue. Can I take in refillable water bottles? We don't have a bad system on my account. Okay. I can take water bottles in. Sorry, can I bring my reusable water bottle? We don't want to, sadly. How do you cut an interaction like that? Probably with your phone company, bank. Okay, so then the world changed, as we talked about. Language models got strong, and then a lot of the companies out there you see are using someone else's engine, but they make a nice way to do some front engineer. And I'm going to make a chatbot for you that is 3 minutes, and we're going to do it quickly, and it is free. So there are 3 companies that do this. This is chat-based. So sign up, want a chatbot, build the chatbot. Okay, how long was it going to take? Sign into the Google. Okay, we're done. New chatbot, data sources, website, text. Okay, let's do websites. Let's add my trend hunter employee handbook. It's 150 pages. All employees get it. Cool, open it up. Your chatbot is trained and ready. It's already done. That's it. We just made a chatbot. It's done. I can put it on our internal website. Now there's an HR chatbot. Let's test it. Hi there, how can I help you? Hi, I'm new, January 1, I took a vacation here, there, everywhere. How many days do I have to cross over with year changes? Boom, here's the answer. Does our brand stand for anything? Yep, here's the brand ballot. I want to do some university courses. How does tuition reimbursement work here? There you go. I want to let Keith. How do you do it? Oh, sorry to hear. Here's the answer. I saw an employee with the performance model. There you go. I saw an employee gambling. What should I do about? Suck it up. Just kidding. You could do a different one. We made an event bot for feature festival and how we did it within our website. Fetch the links. Done. And then it already works. How can I help you? Well, I'm wondering who the speakers are. There's the list. Done. Well, tell me more about Jamie, our president. There's the answer. Well, what does the event start? Here you go. Slide itinerary. And now it's free. So that's one example of something we did. And it's sort of daunting, the map of how you make all chatbot. What we just did it. It's very simple. So you figure out what problem you're going to solve, you look for the solution, that's step A, step B, try a couple other chatbots, and then make your selection. So now we get to level 3, what happens if you're actionable? Sorry, I'm going to dive a little bit back there. So that's the example of a chatbot. I've done a couple hundred tools. You're going to hear us talking about some of them today. Here's Sean Watson. You're going to see him on our stage. We took a picture of him on our stage, but we forgot legs. Add the legs back. He'll probably like the shoes, but many of the tools up there already have AI features you can implement. This is Photoshop. So there's coordination in a webinar. You're going to see our feet laying up, the crop are too close. Give you some other example of what the room could look like, and it gives us 3 examples. Pretty wild. We have to make an ad for a feature festival, but we're in 20 cities. There's 5 formats for each ad. We want to try 10 different value propositions for each one. It's thousands of ad ads for our team to make. The outflow will be done automatically, tested automatically. You can make an image. You can take an existing image you have and turn it into a video very quickly. The new versions of Copilot, if you're fully feature-enabled, track the sentiment of the meeting, tell you what's working, what's not, make the next steps, assign the calendared invites for the follow-up. You can make a PowerPoint pitch deck, upload your essay to Pitch with AI, or Gamma is another one, put in your logo, and it will automatically create your PowerPoint deck for you. One of our client success leaders, she made an AI agent that's trained on all for internal client database, that while our humans still answer the client question, then when you talk to the client, technically who they created, who straight out every internal piece of knowledge in order to get faster at answering the question. There's technologies for lead scoring, translation. This was for procurement, Ironclad it's called. It looks at the deal. When we make a deal, we're going to do amendments. But then our procurement team have 100 emails back and forth to get annoyed. this looks like everything we've done before. It could be the red line, suggests useful ideas and tries to cut the step in half. There's a couple of these, we don't even use this exact one anymore, but this one is free, and it listens to your call. And if you're a salesperson or a doc photographer, a patient, listens to your call, takes it, listens to the sentiment, tells you if you're going too fast, too slow, tracks that you've covered every topic you were supposed to track, summarizes the meeting and the person's reaction, creates the next step and the follow-up email and the calendar invite preset. Jonathan may later describe the tool they're using now, which does about 3 times more. But in this case, I want to show you this one because it's free. You just start playing and it's free. Many of the tools you might already use, but the Microsoft into Sales Navigator started adding their own AI features. I'd also encourage you just to take the tools your team uses and then over the beta section of the website of that tool and see what you might need to have or click approve to try. It might already be there at first. The point is there's a lot of ways for it to level up there before we even get to code. Now for your coders, we told our coders this could be the greatest window of opportunity in your life to support you. What are your greatest ideas? Be ambitious, and eventually that leads you to the breakthrough that we've kind of shown you a little bit on stage. For us, was our trend out of GPT. To get on uncertainty and in action, I'd say the main thing is just start, just get going. And the last little ones, we're just going to be abbreviated because you're doing a very quick 2D program. So we'll be fast to say, if you feel like the world's too chaotic for where to start, just be trend driven. Look at the key parts of your business, get each team to fall down to what they think is important in their job, and then just focus on 1 or 2, 3 things at max, and just get going. Buy something that saves you 1 minute of time. Just see what it does. Play with it. We'll do scenario planning at the end of day 2. So if we're anything there, we'll talk about short-term, long-term dream list with then pattern thinking. So in our little experience then for our own company, what happened? Well, we implemented about 200 different ideas, and that's just the starting point. We got people at the site. We saw financial results. We've seen a $65 million win in 1.5 hours of coding in a client workshop, and we basically put that up there to note that I think all of you could have a multi-million-dollar idea in your company, but part of it is just getting there, setting the time aside to actually work through what are the key business problems, search the right tools, and then you'll be surprised at what you find. Now I'm going to create we're going to slow down in some of the other sessions to give you a wide feature of what's up there in order for one AI. But for this keynote, this brings us to the end. So if we talk about why now, what next, and how to win. And if you remember only one thing, remember T-Rex isn't eat parenthesis for breakfast. If you remember more than one thing, there's an inflection point. And if you truly get this, this will be the greatest window of opportunity in your career. Thank you very much. Oh, that's the previews and those steps. Sorry, Paul Jonathan up already wasn't ready. So what was the previews and next? You only want to listen to that though. Go on, get loud, do it. Okay. So I never did not put up. You get my first book, it's like chaos. I have pictures, so you know it's good, totally free. There's probably been of the animation change and some of the AI stuff you saw today. Our animation is segment if you did not complete that already. Our 2024 Twitter Force in the AI, no like contact info, and the link is song/secret/divide. 5, 4, you got photograph it, and we'll keep that out. 3, 2, 1. Just kidding, I'm going to leave it up. You're experiencing gets 3 kinds of change, disruption, ambition, and opportunity. You're experiencing there's never been anything quite like this in any of our lives. Not the internet, not social media, not the product design technology, or nothing. What we know from all of this is it's a time of creativity. It's a time for action. It's the time you need to take the leap, take some risks, push yourself, get to that next level. There's plenty of people out there ready to say, yo, an idea, but you need to be the person on your team that's getting people to reach higher and take those apps fully. For the rest of these 2 days, we're going to walk you through a lot of examples. We're going to go through a couple of different industries, really tactical, high level. We'll bring some experts on the stage that are local to help you think about the potential, what you actually have right now of what could be. You know, I would say if you want to get better, faster with innovation, Charlie, your 3 unrealistic. Be curious, insatiable, and willing to destroy the ways that you've done things in the past. Because innovation isn't always big ideas, it's often the little ideas that you may fit. Be revolutionary. Thank you.